Assalamu alaikum dear students. I am your teacher of class 7. In the previous lectures we have discussed chapter number 7, that is about water everywhere in detail. We have discussed the usage of water for domestic, commercial and industrial purpose, and the forms of water present all over the world, and the water treatment plant used to purify the water. Today my topic is about the sewage water. Sewage water is basically the waste water. The water comes from the houses, schools, shops, offices, factories. This water is called the sewage water. Why it is called the sewage water? Because it may contain the water, feces, urine, paper, detergents and many waste chemicals. So this water is not a pure water. So the sewage water treatment plant is used to clean the sewage water, because if we directly pass the sewage water into the lakes, streams and river, it may cause harm or damage to the aquatic life. So the sewage water treatment plant consists of different units to treat the sewage water. These units may include metal screen, grit tank, sludge removal tank, filter bed tank, sludge used as a fertilizer and methane gas formation. So they are basically the products of sewage water treatment plant. In some places, untreated sewage is pumped straight into the rivers or the sea. But in most urban areas, at least, sewage is passed to a sewage works for cleaning. As you can see on the screen, there is a clear diagram of the sewage water treatment plant, as there are different units present in the sewage water treatment plant to clean the sewage water. So the sewage water treatment plant may consist of different units. First unit is the metal screen. When the sewage arrives at the sewage works, any large materials such as rags, cans or pieces of board are removed by metal screens. So you can see on the screen there is a clear image of the metal screen. So these metal screens are used by the plant to remove or trap the large particles, paper, rags, cans, if any present in the sewage water. Second unit is the grit tank. The sewage then flows slowly through a grit tank where any sand or soil sinks to the bottom. So the sludge is formed at the end of the grit tank. Thick, soft, wet mud or a mixture of liquid and solid components, especially the products of an industrial or refining process. So this type of mixture is called the sludge. Now the sludge removal is also necessary. In the next step, the sewage flows into a large tank where the sludge settles to the bottom, from where it is scraped away by a electric machinery. So there is a clear image of the sludge removal process. Third unit is the filter bed. The remaining liquid sewage, now called as effluent, is often sprayed onto a circular bed of stone, rock or clinker. So you can see on the screen there is a unit of filter bed in which the water is passed. So the next step, the air is blown through a liquid sewage. Sometimes it may be put into a large tank and have air blown through it, because the air may consist of a large amount of bacteria. Sometimes the special bacteria feed on any of the waste matter in the effluent, turning it to harmless gases and water. So the water is then clean enough to be returned to a river or pumped into the sea. The sewage sludge formed is pumped to other tanks containing different kinds of bacteria, and at the end these bacteria destroy the unpleasant materials in the sludge and change them to the gas called methane, which can be used as a fuel. You can see on the screen the methane is formed by the digestion of the sludge, and we can use the methane as a fuel during this process. The methane formed is used to produce all of the electricity needed by the sewage works. So the remaining digested sludge is usually taken by the trucks to be spread on a farmland where it acts as a fertilizer. So the fertilizer is any of the chemical compounds that fertilizes the soil. Next process is the distillation process. So the shortage of the fresh water and the need for more clean water is already causing problems in many dry regions of the world. Due to the increasing population, there is a shortage of fresh water. And we have discussed in the previous lectures that about 3% of our earth is covered by the fresh water. So due to the increasing population, there is a shortage of fresh water. One way to obtain the more fresh water is by distillation process. This is very similar to the process nature uses to recycle the water in what it is called the water cycle. Now, distillation process. Distillation process involves the conversion of a liquid state into a vapor state, and that is condensed back to a liquid form. One example of the simple distillation is to salt removed from the seawater to create a pure water. During distillation, the water starts to evaporate by the heat, and the vapor then cools down to form a pure water. So we use these mechanisms to create the pure water from a salty water. Various forms of fuel such as gasoline are separated from the crude oil by the distillation. Desalination. Salty water when turned into a fresh water through the distillation. This process is known as desalination. Desalination process is similar to the water cycle. Why it is similar to the water cycle? Because the water cycle is a natural cycle in which the water takes from the sea to the sky to the land and back to the sea. The movement of the water around our planet is vital to life as it supports plants and animals. The water cycle consists of following steps. Number first is the evaporation. Number second one is the condensation, and the number third one is the precipitation. You can see on the screen there is a clear flow sheet diagram of the water cycle in which due to the sun's heat the water evaporates and the water may passes and condense and the precipitation occurs. As a result, this water cycle is continuous. And the first step of evaporation. Water from the earth, ocean is heated by the sun rays, which causes it to change into a gas and rise into the air. This is called the evaporation. Number second mechanism is the condensation. When the water vapors move once high up in the sky, the gas begins to cool when it comes in contact with the cooler air and turns back into a liquid state. So this is called the condensation. Number third unit is the precipitation. The water droplets form clouds which become heavy and fall from the sky in the form of rain, hail and snow. So this process is called the precipitation. So these three processes may take place in the water cycle. So the larger users of the desalinated or distilled water are Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, the United Arab Emirates, Qatar, Bahrain, Libya, Algeria and some areas of the United States, especially the California and parts of the Florida. In 2002, there were about 12,500 desalination plants around the world in 120 countries. So you can see there is a desalinated plant present in different countries of the world that are used to remove the salt from the salty water and to create a pure water that is used for drinking purpose. So there are some problems associated with the desalination process. The problems with desalination are, it is not cheap because it requires large quantities of fuel to heat the sea water. The countries which use the desalination are mainly those with a large quantities of oil available and having a large reservoirs of oil in it. In some countries, it may be possible to use a wind or a solar power to work desalination plants. Many of the substances such as pesticides which pollute the water, so it cannot be removed by the ordinary distillation process. So there are some of the drawbacks of this process. Now the distilled water that is formed is pure, but it is not really suitable for drinking because it has a flat taste and it lacks some of the important minerals that our body needs. So there is a clear experiment of the simple distillation process in which we take a salt water in a flask. The salt water may consist of salt particles. So when we give heat to the flask, the water evaporates and the water vapor passes to the condenser, as you can see on the screen, leaving the salt behind in the flask. So the water vapor passes to the condenser. Here the cooling water is also present. So when the vapors come in contact with the cool water, it may condense and the precipitation may occur and the water vapors convert into a liquid drops. So these liquid drops may fall into the another flask and this water is called the pure water, that is also called the distillate water. Safe water. We tend to take water for granted. We turn on a tap and we have water to drink or wash with. We flush the toilet and water washes away our waste. So we can use water for our domestic purpose and it is vital for our life. We all living organisms depend upon the water for our survival. But at least 2/3 of the people in the world do not have a tap inside their home. So what they can do? They have to obtain the water from a tap outside their homes. Well, water holes, streams or rivers. Their toilet may be a bucket, a hole in the ground or river or stream, and this water may be polluted. So it may also cause many diseases and it also may harm to the living organism. The unwanted substances in the polluted water may also be harmful to the plants and animals living in the water, as well as to the plants, animals and people living on the land who use the water or come into contact with it. So this polluted water may also cause many diseases. Why? Because this water may consist of a lot of bacteria and viruses that cause different type of diseases. So the waterborne diseases are spread when the people do not have enough water for washing hands and rest of their bodies and for washing kitchen pots and pans. So the diseases may consist of skin diseases, eye infections and diarrhea are the examples of illness which spread rapidly when the people are short of water. One common waterborne disease is trachoma. Trachoma is basically an eye disease which spreads rapidly in hot, dry climate when there is a shortage of water. The disease is caused by a bacterium which scars the eye and eventually causes the blindness. So they are one of the example of the waterborne disease. Water-related diseases is another type of diseases. Basically, they are spread by the animals such as snails or parasitic worms, which spend part of their lives in water, or by insects such as mosquitoes, which breed or multiply in the water. One of the worst water-related diseases is bilharzia or schistosomiasis. It is spread by the parasitic worms, which spend part of their lives in water snails. What happens in this? If infected human feces are passed outdoors, anywhere near the water, the worm larvae enter the water snails and multiply. The worm larvae get into the body of anyone drinking the water or enter through the skin of anyone washing, swimming or bathing it. Inside the infected person's body, the parasitic worms cause many symptoms, including bleeding, pain, cough, diarrhea, fever, fatigue, sores, and enlargement of the liver and the spleen. So there is a complete cycle of the schistosome life cycle. Thank you so much.